That was Elven King with Hobbs and Feathers off of Heathen Reel. Before that was Shaman from Brazil with For Tomorrow off of Ritual. Mirath from Tunisia with Merciless Times off of Tales of the Sands. And Orphaned Land from Israel with Through Fire and Water off of All Is One. And that's a wrap for Mostly Metal here on Sunday, December 1st. This replays Wednesday at 10 p.m. in case you missed any of it or want to hear some of it again. And now it's time to switch gears to wrestling here on WVLP 103.1 FM, Valparaiso, Indiana.
Your insubordination will not be tolerated.
It is time for the Northwest Indiana Wrestling Action Program here on Valpo's only all-volunteer nonprofit community radio station WVLP 103.1 FM and also streaming on WVLP.org. You can also pick us up on the TuneIn Radio app. Some of the ring noise in that little intro piece was recorded several years ago at Inman's Bowling and Recreation Center for a wrestling show there. And then the whole wrestling thing kind of faded away from Inman's for a couple of years, and you've heard me do delayed audio coverage of many shows from other places in the region. But last night, wrestling came back to Valpo, back to Inman's, courtesy of Project Revolution Wrestling and Phoenix Pro Wrestling. The two organizations kind of linked elbows there to put on a show called Revelations at Inman's. And so I've got delayed audio coverage of that coming up for the rest of the hour. Now, I have to give a footnote, I guess, beforehand. This comment coming up here is for me, and it's well-deserved. Okay, and here's why. Because when I go to these shows, I'm basically a spectator with a microphone, right? I go in with my table and my mixing board and my 3 microphones, and I get sound and talk about some of the things that are going on and prepare sort of an audio highlight reel. When I go into a company that I've never seen before, I don't know a lot of the workers' names, and I rely on what I can hear over the sound system to interpret their names correctly. Now, at Inman's, the wrestling takes place on the roller rink side of the bowling alley. The acoustics are not that great in there to begin with, and last night I was seated sort of to the side and a little bit behind the speakers where, the PA system came out. And so it was kind of hard to understand things once in a while. And so I got some names wrong, and I got some names that I just didn't understand them to begin with. The most egregious one, unfortunately, is for the PRW champion, whose name is John Francis. Now, I know that now, but at the start of the show when he was first being mentioned and through a portion of his match, I thought I had heard his name as John Branson. And so I refer to him as John Branson. But when you listen to the main event of this audio coverage, you'll hear me slowly catching on to the fact that I was a big doofus and I had misunderstood his name to begin with. So I get it fixed by the end of the broadcast, but it lingers for quite a while. So unless his name is something like Don Francis, now I know that it's John Francis, and I apologize in advance for not getting it right the first time. But I've got the first half and the second half in 2 different sound files, so we'll listen to the first half for about half an hour, then take a quick break and do the second half for the rest of the hour. Here is Project Revolution Wrestling's Revelations from last night at Inman's Recreation Center. Nope. I've got my file names with numbers like file, set 1, set 2, and I've got set 1, 2, and 3 for music and set 1 and 2 for wrestling. And that one I accidentally pressed the set 1 for music, which obviously is not the one I want. Here we go with the correct file. All right, let's do this and hope for the best. This is Ken the Metal Professor. I am at Inman's Recreation Center right here in Valparaiso, Indiana for tonight's edition of the Northwest Indiana Wrestling Action Program For the first time in years, a couple of years, there is a wrestling card here at Inman's. It is Project Revolution Wrestling. They're from Illinois. They're invading Indiana tonight with their wrestling show, and I'm here to check it out and let you know what happened. Before I even started talking to you right now, there was a pre-show match, and I was having some audio difficulties, which hopefully won't occur again, with some random crackling that was going through my headphones and also apparently getting recorded. So let's hope that is done with. So I don't have any audio from that match for you, but it was a Phoenix Pro Wrestling Lightweight Championship match. The title did change hands. So this show is about to start in 8 minutes, 7 o'clock on Saturday, November 30th. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I hope your turkey day was good. And the next time you hear me, Project Revolution Wrestling Show Revelations will be kicking off at Inman's Bowling and Recreation Center here in Valpo. All right, it's 7 o'clock. The show is beginning. Ring announcer Ariana Jefferson is climbing up to start the show. Project Revolution Wrestling's Revelations here at Inman's Recreation Center. Oh, and almost a disaster with the heels.
At this time, before we begin the show, please welcome to the screen to sing America the Beautiful, Mr. Kendall Fire!
So instead of the national anthem, somebody's going to sing America the Beautiful. So right during the young man's rendition of America the Beautiful, he was interrupted by two men coming out to ringside. One of them is the Arabian Sheik, who I know from ARW Pro and SCW. The other one is Angus McDuff, who seemed like a nice guy when he was on the show several weeks ago, but now I'm starting to wonder. Well, let's see what this was about.
Shut your mouth! My name is Arabian Sheik. I'm a PRW 24/7 champion. That means I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest. People back there, I'm the greatest. This girl gets defended 24/7 anytime I want. Always defending my title. And you. Yes, I defend this title 24/7. Whenever I want to, however I want, because that makes me the greatest. Now, Kendall Fire, first of all, you should be singing the Saudi Arabian national anthem, not some jerkwater song by America. And look, let me tell you something. From Indiana, you'll never
Kendall Fire, the one singing America the Beautiful, had enough of the Arabian Sheik, and he just pinned him and took the 24/7 title.
NWIWRAP 24/7 Square Champion, Kendall Fire.
That'll teach you to interrupt America the Beautiful. Let's see if I can have some words with Angus McDuff to see what's going on with him tonight. But it looks like those two are staying in the ring for a match as a tag team.
Branson, Indiana, what kind of dump is this? When you cheat, you're cheating out of my title. Who's Angus? Hold on, Angus. Who's the owner of this dump?
Hey, go Craig!
Look over here. I'm the owner here.
They're calling out the owner of Inman's, Sean Sheshelski. He's walking to the ring carrying a little belt of his own and wearing a Burger King hat.
Alright, well, I'm the 29-time 300 bowling champion right here.
He is the 29-time 300 bowling score champion.
So you own this dump, huh?
Yes, I do.
What dump are you from? I'm from Saudi Arabia, the greatest country in the world. Shut up! Shut up!
In the USA! USA!
Now that I got you out here, this place is a dump. Now what do you want? You're still in my spotlight.
What?
I would say you watch this. It's going to be a clinic.
I think next time you guys are here, I'm going to bring out my old guys to take you down.
You got a team that can take us down? I doubt that.
Huh? Let's see where we're at. Hey, boys, you out there?
So through all the chatter, it looks like Sean Sheshelski had a team on standby who's getting called out to take on Angus McDuff and the Arabian Sheik.
That's what I thought. A typical American, just afraid.
Yeah, that sounds very American.
An old cowboy was riding out one dark and windy day.
Hi, everybody. Enjoy the show tonight. Welcome to Inman. And there we go.
Well, after all that, the tag team that came out circled the ring, and while they were doing that, Angus McDuff and the Arabian Sheik vamoosed. So they were all talk and no action.
Alright, how y'all doing tonight? Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, wrestling fans of all ages, Project Revolution Wrestling proudly brings to you PRW Revelations! Cut it out of me a little bit. I'm sorry about that. All right. Well, we're so happy to be here in lovely Valparaiso, Indiana, thanks to Inman's Bowling Activity and Arena. Thank you very much. And we have a fantastic show for you guys tonight. We have a team battle between Team PRW and Team Council. We also have a last gonna surprise anything else for you guys. No surprises for you. So, you guys are all ready for some high-flying, nail-biting, jaw-dropping, eye-popping, gut-wrenching, butt-clenching action! And so, let the revolution begin! Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, may I please introduce to the ring your current PRW Heavyweight Champion, John Branson!
Valparaiso! How we doing tonight, folks? All right, well, you heard some of the matches that are coming up tonight. A lot of good fights. Problem is, I've been itching for a fight for a while now. And as far as I know, I don't have an opponent tonight. It is sad, isn't it? Anyone want to see me fight tonight? One guy doesn't. All right, that's fine. Majority rules here, man. It's democracy. All right. So I've been hearing some whispers in the back, and someone wants to take this title from me. Someone thinks they're ready. So right now I'd like to bring out the party animal of PRW, Akua! So last month, I beat you in a triple threat match. So explain to me why you deserve a shot at my belt.
You know, I think you got some stuff confused because if I remember correctly, you didn't pin me. In fact, you know in your heart to heart that if it wasn't for my actions, you wouldn't have walked away champion. John, do you know what the title means? Hard work, dedication, blood, sweat, tears.
You talked about on my mic now. You want to talk about what that title means? How about 7 years? 7 years, I sweat, I bled, I cried, trying to get that belt. And after 7 years, I finally got my chance. And it took every ounce of energy I had to get it. So let me explain what it means. This means that you're the best on this mic, in the back, out of everyone, whoever steps in this ring, you need to be the best. You need to give every ounce, every piece of energy, every piece of sweat that you got. And then when it's all run out, you have to dig down to that reserve that not everybody has. And you have to pull more out to be able to take this from me. You have to be more than a sports entertainer who perverts this business that I love. You have to be better than elite. You have to want it more than every indie darling in the back who does this for 20 bucks just to get a chance at this. So you want a shot? All right. You've got your shot. Francis versus Akua tonight. Just remember, you're good, kid. Real good. But as long as I'm around, you'll always be second best.
So it looks like later on we will have John Branson defending his championship against the party animal Akua. They had a gentlemanly handshake, although some tough words between the two of them.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for your champion, John Branson! Let's also hear it for his upcoming challenger, the PRW party animal, Akua! the Tag Team Battle Royal contest. It is like any other Battle Royal in where the winner must eliminate, or you are eliminated in order to remain the final person standing in the ring. However, in this contest, because the participants are partners of a team, whoever is the single member standing in the middle of the ring after all other members have been eliminated will win for their team. And so, let the battle begin!
Okay, so our first genuine match here is going to be a tag team battle royal. And I'm predicting I'm not going to be able to identify any of the teams. Well, other than Angus McDuff and the Arabian Sheik who are back out here again. Jeez. So there's going to be a lot of people in the ring, most of whom I'm not going to be able to give names to yet. But we'll see what happens at the end. Maybe I'll be able to tell you who won. So it'll be like a battle royal, but whoever's left standing, his team wins the tag team championships, I guess. There are so far 4 other gentlemen at ringside, along with Angus McDuff and the Arabian Sheik. I think the name of one of them might be Duff, because he was a participant in the pre-show match. Oh, here comes 2 more. And 2 more. Oh, my goodness. 2 men in bright orange Department of Corrections overalls. That's the DOC chant. All right, so we got Angus and Arabian Sheik. We've got Department of Corrections guys. We've got a gentleman in a cut-off flannel shirt. He was one of the people that helped run off the Arabian Sheik earlier. His partner had a mask on him. And then 4 other guys that just have genuine wrestling tights and look like they're ready to go. So this tag team battle royal is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 has 10 people in it. Now, I learned during the pre-show match that you didn't get to hear anything from because of the crackling. Apparently, it's an Illinois thing that I learned about several episodes ago when I had audio from a show out in Hinckley. It was Indiana. It was Hinckley, Illinois, where the commentary is taking place live and over the PA in the arena. So if you hear talking going on behind me, that's what that is. It's really hard to get used to. Okay, now you can hear the action starting. Oh, we're up to 12 people now. 12 people, 2 referees. So several eliminations have happened already. You can hear that the crowd is behind DOC. That's the two big guys in the orange jumpsuits from the Department of Corrections. They're left in the ring with 2 guys I don't know. Oh, and one of the DOC guys was eliminated. So there's a little confusion here, but with DOC being eliminated, we have winners of the Tag Team Battle Royal. I do not know their names. So a little clarification, the Tag Team Battle Royal was for the positioning of being the #1 contender for the PRW Tag Team Championships. And now we have a special announcement from Lady Z. who is announced as a PRW bigwig.
As if you people don't know me, I'm Lady Z. I'm the PRW executive. Okay? Here in PRW, we have a rule that if the titles are not defended within 45 days, said titles are vacated. Therefore, the 6-man tag team championship is therefore vacated. And so I want to award those to my council members. Yes. We got Big Junior, Conta, and last but certainly not least, DJ the Disaster, the Spirit Queen.
So not only is she a PRW executive, but Lady Z is a member of the council. And she's just announced that the 6-man tag team championships have been vacated because they haven't been defended soon enough.
Oh, I got a question.
And she just gave the belts to her pals.
So, y'all promised me, you said, hey, I'm going to bring a band of clubs. If you were willing to put your power on the line against the back against anybody I could get. Right? So I think you made your last power move tonight. You have made, of course, your members of the council the 6-man tag team champions. That's real cool, right? They didn't even wrestle anybody to get it.
Well, who is it? Is it Ariane? Because I've been wanting to lay hands on you. You've been getting these hands for a long, long time.
I'm pretty sure I messed up too. It's you?
You know, much as I love that opportunity, seeing as how I'm just a little bit more executively than you are.
Whoa!
Ooh, a little fashion shade getting thrown here.
I'm gonna have a good time, but that's all right. We can always do another time. In the meantime, I want to bring out instead your actual opponent. You want to do it? Oh, absolutely. Special guest referee, Chi-Town T, PRWR, ladies and gentlemen, let's perform. Ladies and gentlemen, your opponent will be, welcome back to the ring, Phantasm!
He came out to ringside and has promptly been pounced on by members of the council. And that thud you heard was him just taking a spear. Head honcho of PRW, Ivan, is acting as the referee. He counted 2 on Phantasm. Okay, so the match is Phantasm against Lady Z. Lady Z has just taken off Phantasm's wig. Intergender brutality at its finest. I think this referee is not quite impartial because he was counting a pinfall of Lady Z on Phantasm. Phantasm put his foot on the ropes, and Ivan stopped the count and celebrated that he got to stop the count. But now he's being distracted by members of the council, and Lady Z continues her attack on Phantasm. She's going to try to pin him again. And he got his shoulder up, and Ivan celebrates that he was able to only stop his count at 2. And after several 2 counts, Phantasm got a quick roll-up on Lady Z. Ivan counted it quickly. The other members of the council are not taking this well.
Following contest is scheduled for one fall, and it will be for the PRW Continental YouTube Championship. Introducing to the ring first, the challenger from the Asylum, weighing in at 210 pounds, he is currently one half of the PRW Unified Tag Team Champions and one half of the Disciples of Darkness. He is Kota Comio from Valparaiso, Indiana, weighing in at 220 pounds. He is your current PRW Continental YouTube Champion. He is Mike Ball.
Okay, so this next match is Valparaiso's own Mike Balls, the current holder of the Continental YouTube Championship for PRW. He is defending it against an interesting character whose name I've heard during introductions and now don't remember what it was. Again, I don't know most of these folks. This is the first time I've been at a PRW show. And there's, unlike theater productions, there's no playbill that lists all the characters. So Mike Ball's opponent is one half of the tag team Disciples of Darkness. The whole tag team is out here. His opponent's in the ring, and the partner is outside the ring. Well, they're both Looney Tunes, apparently. That high squeaking that you can hear is the tag team partner in the Disciples of Darkness outside the ring. And inside the ring, his partner just pulled a Pete Dunne and a Pentagon Jr. by first trying to rip the fingers off the hand of Mike Balls and then trying to yank his arm out of its socket. We've also seen choking and biting. So Mike Balls is kind of in bad shape here.
First, I would think. Let's hope it's not his last.
But he kicks out at 2.
And that might be all from instinct because he said,
Having been bitten, choked, broken, and having his eyes gouged, Mike Balls is finally on offense. He body slammed his opponent and went out to the top turnbuckle to try to jump in, but he got distracted by the guy outside the ring. So he's not on offense anymore. Balls just fought off a suplex from the corner and hit a big elbow drop from the top turnbuckle, but only a 2 count for him. I don't know what this Continental YouTube Championship is yet, but these two guys both won it. So Mike Balls likes to get the crowd chanting balls, balls, balls. And all I can think is that I'm glad his tag team partner isn't Dick Davis. Now he's up on the top turnbuckle, a flying body press. Hits it and then rolls right through and on his opponent. they're both a little groggy.
The reversal from Tota.
Couple of running clotheslines from Mike Balls and a third one for good measure. Attempting a 3 count, not so lucky. The Magic Balls chance is starting again. Looks like he's waiting for the right moment. And, his opponent caught him. He looked like Balls was running in for a big spear or something, but his opponent ducked under it. Got a 2 count. And Balls just rebounded off the rope, hit a huge spear. But he's not able to make the pin, the cover. Looks like he took himself out with his own spear as well as his opponent. And as a result of that, the referee just counted 10 on both men.
Result of this contest is a draw as a result of a double count out.
All right, so guys, PRW, we really got a lot of respect for the guys that's been in this business and made a way for guys like us to be able to do this. So what we like to do right now is bring out a legend who I grew up watching, and I know if you were born right there, were in the 80s and the 70s and the 90s, you saw a little bit of him too. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to call Mr. Nacho Barrero to the ring right now. Me too, I'm with you. So, guys, what I want to do is, every Sunday morning, I grew up rooting on this group for Mr. Barrero right there. I'm like, Nacho's my guy. And when I get a chance, we want to give this award. I just want to let you know, brother, that we love you, and you paved the way for a lot of guys like us, and you made it impossible for us to do this. We love you, brother.
Project Revolution Wrestling recognizing the work of Nacho Barrera with a plaque. This is a big week for him. He just got some recognition at ARW Pro on last Wednesday, right before Halloween, on their show, Black and Blue Wednesday.
All right, so now we're going to take a quick intermission. So you guys, if you get a chance, make sure you get a chance to get an autograph from Nacho Barrero. Believe me, he's a legend. One of our all-time favorites. Also, you can get an autograph from some of the other PRW.
We are in the middle here of delayed audio coverage of Project Revolution Wrestling show Revelations at Inman's Recreation Center in Valparaiso on Saturday, November 30th. I'm Ken the Metal Professor. You're hearing this on WVLP, Valparaiso's all-volunteer nonprofit community radio station at 103.1 FM and WVLP.org. I'm about to kick you into the second half here. This is going to take us a little bit past the top of the hour. This broadcast will be repeated Wednesday night from 10 to midnight, and also put on YouTube in a couple of days, so you can follow the Mostly Metal and Northwest Indiana Wrestling Action Program Facebook page. Look for Mostly Metal and NWIWRAP, NWIWRAP, to see a link when that gets put up, or subscribe to the YouTube channel. But anyway, here is the second half, and again, this is going to go about 30 minutes, so it is going to take us past the top of the hour, but that's okay because WVLP only has automated programming for a while after my show, and so I'm gonna push it to the side because this is important stuff. Man, they weren't kidding about that 5-minute intermission. They started announcing this match before I was back at my table. And I was unsuccessful in finding a vending machine that took credit cards, so I'm still thirsty. What I gathered from the announcement is this match will be another multi-man match. So far, we've got a member of the council in the ring. So what we're learning about PRW is that there's a couple of cabals. The council is a large group of people that hang together and try to exert their will on PRW. And then there's the Team PRW who are pushing back.
Beat the fat off of him! Beat the fat off of him!
All right, so maybe the way it goes is John Scrunch and Conto will start this match off, and then another person will be announced, and then they will keep going. So the object is to every member of each team is in the ring. Then there's a pin follow-up submission, and that team wins the championship. So right now, the object is to try not to get beat up too bad, so when all your team members are there, you can actually hold on and try to get a win. And here we go.
All right, so it's sort of a gauntlet match going on here. So 2 men in the ring to start with, but when one gets pinned or submitted, somebody else is going to enter. The member of the council is Tanta. I believe the other one's name might be John Stokes. I know in matches coming up, I'll be able to recognize some people. We got Gabe the Brave coming up. Angus McDuff will be in a match. Ryu Shinzaki, he's hanging out. So it's not exactly a gauntlet match. It is a rumble kind of match because Big Junior has been now introduced. There's 3 men in the ring. Okay, John Scrutch is my next guess instead of John Stokes as one of the combatants' names. I know I've seen it before, but it's been a long time. Maybe even an RCW? But as you might guess, someone with the name of Big Junior is big, and he's not going down easy. So John was making some headway for a while, but not so much anymore. Here comes entrant number 4. The 4th entrant, his name is Dixon, and he's already getting clobbered by Big Junior. There's nobody in the ring. Everybody's on the outside of the ring. Oh, John Scrutch has rolled into the ring. He's alone, though. Even the referee is outside the ring. And the 5th entrant is on his way out, or her way out. Another member of the council. It's Lady Z's henchman from earlier, or henchwoman. I believe she was announced as Disaster. That's a great name. She already clobbered John Scrutch. Big Junior looks pretty happy about that development. Tanta also. So it's actually, this is what, 3 against 1, council members against none? Because Dixon is still useless on the outside of the ring. Entrant number 6, thankfully not a council member, evening things up. It sounds like his name might be Kendall. He and Tenta are in the ring together. And entrant number 6 has just been clobbered by Big Junior. Oh, I won't fade out. We're counting down to entrant 7.
The next member for the council, Damian Tyler.
Damian Tyler from the council. So it is 4 against 3, Team Council versus Team PRW. Well, John Scrutch just took a vicious DDT from Damian Tyler. On the outside of the ring, Dixon has been a non-issue this entire time. Disaster has been beating on one of Team PRW, and now Somebody from DOC is entered as number 8. If you can hear the chants, people familiar with PRW, unlike me, they seem to like DOC. Oh, and he wants some of Big Junior. Entrant 9 is Alexander Knight. And he immediately goes to work on the Department of Corrections member, DOC. And he's kind of posing, but John Scrutch snuck up on him from behind, and those two are smacking the heck out of each other right now. Sitting off in the corner, Sean Shashelski, Inman's general manager, is indicating he might be entrant number 10. But no, DJ Harris, a familiar face from Southland Championship Wrestling as well, who visits ARW Pro frequently anymore. So Jay Harris is entrant number 10, and that might be it. DJ Harris just suplexed Disaster in half. Oh, look, Dixon is in the ring, and now he's out of the ring. He just did a tope out over the top rope on top of a large group of people. So he appeared briefly and intensely and then flamed out again. But it was worth it. Tanta, Kendall Fire, John Scrutch in the ring. After a stunner on Tanta by John Scrutch, Team PRW wins this big Battle Royal Rumble thing. Dixon, John Scrutch, DJ Harris, Kendall Fire, and the guy from DOC are celebrating in the ring. How about that? I almost knew all their names. Oh, Alexander Knight has snuck into the ring and clobbered Scrutch from behind. So all does not end well after this match. Next match coming up is a tag team match for the Phoenix Pro Wrestling Championships.
350 pounds, he is Gabe the Brave.
All right, Gabe the Brave coming in.
His partner from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, weighing in at 229 pounds, he is Maverick.
And Gabe's partner is Maverick.
Devastation Incorporated from Limerick, Ireland, weighing in at 16 stone, he is Angus.
And Gabe the Brave and Maverick are taking on a tag team. It starts with Angus. And the Arabian Sheik comes out with Angus. Devastation Inc., the name of that cohort. Salty Irishman.
From Sapporo, Japan, weighing in at 250 pounds, also representing Devastation Incorporated, and your current Phoenix Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, Ryan Shinzaki.
And before the bell even rings, Angus and Ryu Shinzaki rush into the ring and attack Gabe and Maverick. The wild card here is the Arabian Sheik, who is on the outside as a bonus for Devastation Incorporated. You may have heard that. That was Angus's chest collapsing, courtesy of Gabe. After getting chopped, cannonballed, and slapped around by Gabe, Angus just made a hasty retreat to his corner and tagged in his partner, Ryu Shinzaki. Who is about to lock up with Gabe the Brave. After being on the receiving end of a lot of nasty stuff, Gabe finally was able to tag out. Now Maverick is in the ring with Angus. He just had a big suplex. That was the thud you heard, but Angus kicked his leg out from under him, and now Angus has tagged in his partner Ryu Shinzaki. Angus is distracting the ref by complaining about somebody sitting at ringside. While that's going on, Ryu is dragging Maverick over to the ring post so he can wrap his leg around it. Now the Arabian Sheik is distracting the ref, and now Gabe comes in to try to sort things out, but the ref pushes him back into the corner, and so the ref's back remains to the action. The other team did the fake, hey, we really tagged each other thing. So now Angus is back in. Angus and Ryu just did Maverick a favor by slingshotting him into his own corner. Gabe was like, what the heck? So he tagged him, and now Gabe's in the ring. Dropped Ryu Shinzaki down. And a big headbutt. All right, Maverick just had Angus in an airplane spin, and he took out the ref with Angus's legs. So things have broken down here. Gabe just rushed in, clobbered Angus, put Maverick on top of Angus, and now he's dragging the ref over. The groggy ref. And there's the 3 count. So Maverick's error paid off in a weird sort of way. Poor ref, man. He got clobbered.
Phoenix Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, Maverick and Dave the Brave.
The entrants in this last man standing match, Ryan Shadows and Sean McLeod. These guys win the Entrance Music Award for tonight. So at this point, anything goes until somebody can't answer a 10 count. And the referee with the most emphatic ring the bell and let's get it on that we've heard all night. All right, a cookie sheet has made an appearance courtesy of Ryan Shadows. The referee's counting Sean McLeod down. He was almost up at 5, then he got whacked with the cookie sheet again. Apparently Ryan Shadows is taking requests from the crowd in terms of what armament to bring in next. And the winner is a chair. Let's see if that makes a good noise. Yeah, it was all right. Shadows has McLeod laying on a chair. He just dropped the cookie sheet on his back again. I guess he has entered the Toll House of Pain. I've been waiting for that one. And a second chair in the ring. Oh, he missed. Good thing. McLeod almost had a comeback, but Shadows knocked him back down.
NWIWRAP North American champion.
Some people in the crowd want a table. What they got was a sheet of plywood, but Ryan Shadows says it counts. As he's setting it up, he whacks McLeod with the cookie sheet, jabs him with the edge of the chair in the gut. And now the plywood is set up in the corner turnbuckles, horizontally. Shadows plants McLeod with a DDT for good measure, just trying to make sure he's totally pliable for a slam into the plywood. But you know what the rule is, he who sets up the equipment, etc. McLeod is having his way with Shadows right now. He's used a chair, a cookie sheet, etc. Still nobody into the plywood that's still set up in the corner turnbuckles. Ooh, McLeod just missed a clothesline, which allows Shadows to, well, attempt to come back, but then he just got planted with a spine buster. And now we wait while the ref counts. I say he gets to 8. Haha, I was right. There's 2 pieces of plywood in the ring now. McLeod has set up 2 chairs facing each other with a piece of plywood bridging in between them. So now who knows what's going to happen? Because the rule of he who sets it up goes through it. Well, each person has now set up plywood. McLeod is the first one to face the rule as he gets body slammed through the plywood that he set up himself. The plywood is laying across the back of McLeod, and Shadows is hitting the plywood with steel chairs. Uh-oh, they're close to the plywood that's set up in the corner. And McLeod spears Shadows right through it. Shadows is hanging lifeless off the plywood. The ref is counting again. Now, technically, I think Shadows is still standing against the plywood because he's not down on his butt. He's being supported by the plywood. Okay, so Shadows is still against the plywood. McLeod is in the center of the ring. He approaches Shadows and gets him, but gets an elbow to his head for his trouble. McLeod just hit Shadows with an F5. The ref's counting. The ref has counted to 10, and I think he's awarding the match to McLeod. Shadows kind of half got up there at 10, but just collapsed right back down again. So McLeod's the winner.
She is the amazing Amazon, the big green rage machine, Natasha Crane.
Strike what I said earlier, Natasha Crane is using Blue Oyster Cult as her entrance music. She wins the entrance music battle of the night. Hey, I recognize her from Southland Championship Wrestling too.
She is your current PRW Women's Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the fabulous Breezy Van Buren.
All right, so the Phoenix Pro Women's Champion Natasha Crane taking on the PRW Women's Champion, whose name I haven't understood yet. But some good sportsmanship, a handshake. You're both clapping to the crowd. The PRW Women's Champ announced is from Griffith, Indiana. So the two are about to lock up for a test of strength when a dance break broke out. So the PRW Women's Champion is Breezy. Oh, and Breezy just tried to turn the dance break into a clothesline. It backfired, and she's the one that got clotheslined. Well, the match was going along nicely. And Disaster from the Council has now come into the ring and is kicking on Breezy. And now she's about to go after Natasha Crane with... Man, she's good at that spear. And now she's waiting for Breezy to stand up. Oh, no spear for Breezy. Breezy gets a sit-down choke slam.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. And it's your main event. And it will be for the PRW Undisputed Heavyweight Championship. Introducing first, the challenger from Honolulu, Hawaii, weighing in at 200 pounds, he is the PRW Party Animal. Ladies and gentlemen, and his opponents from the Golden State of California, weighing in at 250 pounds, he is the current PRW Undisputed Heavyweight Champion, John Branson.
All right, the main event is underway. Champ John Branson against Akua, the party animal. Starting at a fast pace here, and I also appreciate that we have the high energy ref in the ring too, so this should be good. For quite a while. Branson's been working on Akua's base of support, been going after both of his knees and legs, mostly his left. The crowd still firmly behind Akua. Akua just strikes with a big clothesline on Branson. Now the crowd is teasing the champ with chants of Francis, Francis, to the point where I'm starting to wonder if I've misunderstood his name all along, and it's John Francis instead of John Branson. That's the story of the night, right? A brand new wrestling promotion for Valparaiso. I mean, PRW is not brand new, but they're brand new to Valpo here at Inman's. I don't know several of the workers, so I'm learning them as we go. And therefore, so are you. Akua is trying to take advantage of this moment where Branson's on the mat and he's on his feet, but he just can't get his legs under him. Akua just hit a flying leg drop on top of Branson from the top rope, but he hurt himself with his bad legs just as badly as Branson. He almost got a 3 count, though. Branson kicked out at 2.5.
I think Branson might be running over here.
Okay, I'm changing my mind. John Francis, not Branson. All right, since I'm calling him Francis now too, Francis almost blew his top at a 2 count. He was mad at the ref. The ref shouted back. Francis shoved the ref, but then he cooled himself down. Anyway, head strike. Some kind of twisting neck lock. But Akua still kicks out at 2. Francis can't believe it. So Francis is very frustrated with his inability to put Akua away. He's pacing the ring, saying, "I'm the champ, I'm the champ." And then he jumped out of the ring, going under the ring and coming up with a steel chair. Now this is not a no DQ match. So if he's about to do something foolish, that will end the match, but yeah, he'll still remain the champ. Because I don't think in PRW the title's going to change on a disqualification. He was about to hit Akua. The ring announcer goes out and begs him not to. So he put the chair away. He thought better of it. Oh, and he just got hit with a spinning forearm by Akua. And another one. An attempt to get Branson Francis to calm down has resulted in him getting pinned and losing his championship. Akua is now your PRW champion.
Undisputed heavyweight champion. Akua has done it.
And that seems to be it, unless there's further drama. Project Revolution Wrestling has come across the border from Illinois into Indiana. Reactivated wrestling at Inman's here in Valparaiso. Branson Francis is on his feet behind Akua. Is he going to clobber him or is he going to congratulate him? Which ex-champ are we going to see? Oh, he gives him a handshake. So far, And now he's raising Akua's hand for him. I'm waiting for it. Oh, he leaves the ring without doing anything else. Good for him. Okay, that's it for Inman's. I'm Ken the Metal Professor. This has been the Northwest Indiana Wrestling Action Program with delayed audio coverage of Project Revolution Wrestling's Revelations. We'll see if they're coming back to Valpo again anytime in the future. I'll let you know when I find out.